Capcom.
This is the tournament for the new millennium. You'll experience the most exciting battle in history. Let's get ready to battle. Feel the intensity when power and technique collide. Crush the competition. A battle beyond your imagination. Let the martial arts madness begin. 2001 is the year we make contact. Welcome to the revolution.
Capcom versus SNK 2. Millionaire Fighting 2001.
Hello everybody, this is Nick from Arcade Hunters, and this is the final review in my Street Fighter series, and this is Capcom vs. SNK 2. Now, if you're wondering why it says Millionaire Fighting in the intro, that's because this is the Japanese version. When I first got this game, I ended up getting a bootleg, and I'm not ashamed to say it because this game never came out in America on the Dreamcast. It came out on the PlayStation 2, and at the time, I didn't have a PlayStation 2, so I ended up having a friend that hooked me up with a bootleg copy of it. But much recently, I think it was only a couple months ago, I did pick up an original version on the Dreamcast, and that's the version that you're watching now, so it's not a bootleg. And, you know, I really wanted to play this game, and, you know, it sucked that we didn't get it on the American Dreamcast. By the time 2001 rolled around, it was pretty much dead, and, you know, only a couple games would trickle out from Japan once in a while. And it's a shame because I really think the Dreamcast is one of my favorite systems of all time. It had a lot of great titles on it, especially if you're an arcade fan. As I said, like, most of my Dreamcast games are arcade ports because they really put them together. There are so many great games on it. And, you know, it's unfortunately that it didn't do well when it was in the shadow of the PlayStation 2. Now, it was released in America on the PS2, and that's one of the better American ports of it. There was also a port on the GameCube, which avoided all costs because that controller is absolutely horrible for playing fighting games. But yes, it was also released on the original Xbox. I'm pretty sure it did not have online support, but that game was called Capcom vs. SNK 2 EO, which I forgot what EO stood for, not Captain EO like Michael Jackson. Now, this game went back to 6 buttons, thank God, and it was really weird when you're playing a game with the SNK characters because they're only used to having 4 buttons. So it did make trying to learn some of the SNK characters with 6 buttons a little bit unique. It was a little bit different using it than kind of in the previous game where they already had 4 buttons set up. Now, what they have in this game is they took out the ratio system with the characters. In the original game, you could, you know, if you wanted to play Blanca, he was level 1, or Yuri was level 1, and then the bosses like Bison were 3. So what they did instead was they gave you free reign to pick all the characters that you wanted, and there are a lot of characters in this game. I mean, they really pulled out the kitchen sink when they went through characters. I mean, Capcom has, I'll get more into it with it when we talk about characters, really brought out a lot from the past and a lot from other games that have never been featured in 2D games. So it was really cool to see. But what they did was they gave you free reign to pick between all the characters, and you set the ratios that you want. So if you want one character that's really strong and you only want to use one character, you can have a level 4 character. If you want to have 2 medium range, go ahead. But if you want to have like 4, you know, level 1 characters, it's all up to you, what you like. And I think that just made, that right there made the game a lot better than the original. But what they also did was the groove system that I mentioned in Capcom vs. K1. In the original, you only got to choose between SNK and Capcom style, but they expanded that in this version, especially in the home version. You get 3 grooves for each side. So Capcom has 3, SNK has 3. The end groove for Capcom for SNK, as you can see on the screen, is based off of one of the King of Fighters. I'm pretty sure it's in 98. I think it's extra, where you can charge up and you can stock up to 3 and you can hit the buttons together and build your character up. The end groove is more like the K groove is more like Samurai Showdown, where the more damage your character takes, then you can unleash your super attack. With the Capcom side, they went back to the Alpha series where you can have up to 3. They also brought in the custom combo feature from Alpha 2 and Alpha 3, and also they have an easy version where you can just unleash just one big combo if that's what you like to do. Now, as I said, there are a ton of characters in this game. They really expanded on it, and what's really cool is they added in a lot of characters that have not been seen in a very long time. There was a character, Maki, from Final Fight 2, which she pretty much made her fighting game appearance in this. Eagle from the original Street Fighter makes an appearance in this game. He kind of plays like Mr. Big if you're a fan of the SNK series, and Fatal Fury. He has the 2 billy clubs that he swings around and stuff. He's a really cool character. There's also one of my favorites, as you can see on the left, Homaru from the Samurai Spirit series, Rock from Garu Mark of the Wolf, and one really cool addition was Keisuke from Rival Schools, who was a 3D character. They actually made him into a 2D sprite, and which is really cool is if you get his level 3 super move, Hinata and Batsu come out and do the team-up special from the original Rival Schools, which just does a ton of damage. As you can see, Homaru here really does play like Samurai Spirits, where if you press the hard punch button and you can land his sword attack, it really takes off a lot of damage. And kind of a funny story, I'm not going to use the word that the man said, but when I played this game the first time at Sports Plus in Lake Grove, there was this African-American gentleman standing next to me. He goes, "Hey man, is this game new?" And I said, "Yeah, it is, it just came out." He goes, "Oh man, is that Homaru from Samurai Showdown? That guy's my..." And he used the word that Dr. Laura got kicked off the air for saying 11 times. And, you know, I just kind of had a chuckle, and he ended up getting on the game. He did really good. It was cool playing against that guy. I wish I knew where he was now. It'd be cool to play against him again. But as you probably saw in the beginning, and I mentioned from Capcom vs. SNK1, Capcom got a lot of flack with this game when it came down to the character sprites. Like, well, right here you see Homaru's really detailed and well animated and stuff like that. You're going to be seeing geese in the next part of the video. The Capcom characters, most of them don't look well. Obviously, Morgan is the one that everybody points their fingers to because it was the same sprite that they used back in the Darkstalkers days. It's still the same character from 1995 or 96. But what they did was, they ended up using the third strike characters for Chun-Li and Yoon. So it looked really weird when you put a CPS3 character with all these, like, you know, really high quality animations next to a character from 1996. It really showed its age. So thankfully that, you know, they're going all new with Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and also with Tekken Cross Street Fighter and Street Fighter Cross Tekken. So as I close this out, I'd really like to thank you guys for taking the time out and watching all these videos. It was really cool to put together all these, all because, you know, Street Fighter is one of my favorite game series, you know. As I say all the time, it's one of those games, I don't care which version you play, Street Fighter is a game that it's meant to be played in the arcade. It's meant to be played with people. I don't care if you're playing online, you're still playing alone. It's cool when you go to an arcade, you're playing with people, sharing secrets and stuff like that. So, I'm Nick from Arcade Hunters. As always, thank you for watching, and we'll be back with brand new arcade home port reviews very soon. Thank you for watching.